am now live. Awesome. Okay. And if you'll manage the comments too. Hello. Doesn't seem live yet. Hello, hello. Oh, I see people. Awesome. Hello, everybody. Oh, so many of my friends. Hi, Sue. Jeannie. Great. Oh, this is great. Hey. Oh, man, I'm so glad to see everybody. I got two going on. This is great. Okay, I'm going to turn this around. Hopefully we can see me. All right. I'm so glad everybody's here today. We're going to do something a little different. Many of you guys might not know that although we tour and perform all over the world, and we teach classes as we're traveling, performing, we also teach classes here at home. We've been doing some of those lately with our Twister and our Mad Libs that we did. And another class that we teach here and all around the world is a class called Connecting with Balance. Many people, no matter their age, always comment to me on like, I need to work on my balance. And you watch the amazing Pilobolus dancers and they're incredibly balanced and strong. And so this is going to be kind of a fun exploration into what a Connecting with Balance class is like. When we can come back together, you can try one out. If you live in the Connecticut area, we have some at some community centers. You can try it out around the country as we travel and tour. And we may soon have some up on our YouTube channel. So be looking for those. So I'm filming here in my kitchen. I wanted to do that because I've got my countertop. So you might want to have something nearby that you can hold on to. Countertop, back of the chair, couch, whatever. But I'm going to use this to be handy. So you could also do this entire thing sitting down in a seat. And if that's better for you, then stay seated. I'll try to give you modifications and some different choices as we go. All right. I can see that I can't quite see my feet on here, so I'm going to just adjust this a little bit for my Facebook folks. Okay. Awesome. All right, so stand however you feel comfortable, or you can be sitting down in a chair. You can hold on if you need to. You can keep your eyes forward, or you can close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes, my hands right here, just in case I need it. I'm just going to start by taking a few breaths and noticing my body in space. So if you're standing, notice your feet on the floor. Notice your hips over your feet and how that feels, and your shoulders over your hips, over your feet. Your head over your hips, over your feet. If you're seated, you can do the same thing. Just imagine it, head, shoulders over hips, and feet flat on the floor. Take a couple of breaths here. One more deep breath. We're going to let our body start moving with our breath. So as you inhale the next time, your eyes can be open. I want you to just lift your head and look up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, let your chin drop down to your chest. And we're gonna let this kind of grow. So every time you breathe in, you could maybe go up a little higher. And if you go forward, you might even let your shoulders drop forward or your arms hang. As you inhale the next time, if it's comfortable for you, you can reach your arms up overhead. And then they can come down with you and go forward. And you determine what works for your body. If you're very active and physical, you might be able to reach up or even go up onto your toes, or you might be able to reach down as we fold forward and go further towards your toes. But I want you to do what's comfortable. You can always keep your hand on your chair back or your countertop. Next time you come up, I want you to just stop at kind of a neutral position, right? We're not looking up or down, just looking forward, and we're going to turn our head right and left. So I'm going to just look to the right and look to the left. If you're able to do this without holding on and you're standing, that's great. I want you to do that. If you're not, you can keep holding on there. One more each way. Good. We're going to tilt our head side to side. So we're just letting our ear drop towards our shoulder. And then the other side. You can start with any side you want to. We're just going to go back and forth. That part doesn't matter. And just like we did with our forward and back, if you want to let it grow a little bit and go further down, you could do that. You could also keep holding on and stay smaller. And then we're going to come back to the center. I want you to notice your feet on the floor and how we're kind of balanced in the middle. We're going to shift our weight, our body forward, and see how the weight comes more onto the balls of our feet and then backwards. And I'm going to even do this to the side so you can see what I'm doing here. Leaning forward. You could do this with your counter, the way I'm holding on, and then a little bit back. I'm not pulling my toes off the ground just yet. Just forward and back. And if you can do this with no counter, I encourage you to do that. You'll find that edge and back. Now we're going to do that same motion going side to side. So I'm going to turn this way. So I'm going to just shift over, a little more weight on my left foot and less on my right, and then over to the other side. So I can be doing this holding on or not. Back and forth, just kind of feeling where our center of balance is over our feet. Good. All right, I want to do some circles. We moved our head a lot. Let's move our shoulders a little bit, just little circles back. Just kind of warming up. If you've been on a computer a lot today, like I have, it kind of feels really good to move it. And then reverse the circle, go forward. And yours doesn't have to look like mine. It could be different. You could do one shoulder at a time. And then we're going to move down and do our hands, just circling our hands at our wrists one way. And then the other way. And then we're going to move down towards our hips like you're inside a hula hoop. So imagine you're trying to touch the edges of that hula hoop all the way around in one direction and then all the way around in the other direction. And moving down to one foot, I'm going to show you a couple of ways you could do it. You could keep the toes on the ground and circle around, and I'm holding on. Or you could pick the foot up and circle it in the air. Doesn't matter. Go the other direction, whichever way you're doing it. And then let's switch into the other leg. And reverse and go the other way. Good. We're going to do a little bit of a side stretch. So I'm going to use my hand that's on the counter. If you don't have something, you can put your hand on your hip. And I'm going to reach the opposite arm up and tip over so I'm getting a big stretch. This time I'm keeping my weight on both feet. I can lean over and then come up to the top. So if I'm going to go to the other side, I can either put my hand on my hip and reach up that way, or I could just turn around so I've got a handhold on something else. And come back up. We're going to do something similar with a twist. I'm going to start like this so you can see me. I'm going to reach one arm back like I'm trying to get something out of the back seat of my car. And I'm going to come back around. So if I want to try that with the other hand, I might turn myself around, reach like I'm going to get something out of the back of my car, and come back. All right, let's do all of those again. So we're going to side bend over. Again, you could have hand on hip. And then go the other way. I encourage you to not use the counter if you don't need it, or the chair. But of course, use it if you do. See if you can reach back and get something out of your back seat. And come back and go around and get it out of the other side. Good. All right, we're going to kind of tune into our feet. I'm going to back up to make sure my feet are in the camera. We did some circles, but now we're going to work on our toes. Many people don't know how much balance is controlled with all these bones in our feet. So if it helps, it certainly helps me. Look down at your feet, and I want you to just see if you can pull your toes up off the floor. Sometimes it helps me to actually do my fingers the same way as my toes, and then let it go. Let's do that one more time. Pull your toes up off the floor. And let it go. Now, I want you to imagine you've got a towel or something underneath your feet. I want you to scrunch up your toes like you're trying to curl that towel up. And I could do it with just one foot at a time, or I could do both. And I'm going to kind of turn one foot to the side so you can see. I'm like making making my arch bigger under there when I curl my toes up. All right, you can do that with both feet. Good, now we're gonna raise up, especially if you need help balancing. Hold here, and I want you to just lift up onto your balls of your feet. Imagine going up on tippy toe, and then come back down. We're gonna do that a couple of times. You could also do this facing the counter or the back of your chair if you need a little more. Do a couple of these. One more time. Now we're gonna bend both knees. You can keep facing that counter, bend your knees, and straighten your legs. I'm going to turn and show you. If you do not need the counter, you could have your hands on your hips. You could have your hands out to the sides if that makes you feel more comfortable. Some people like a little prayer pose, whatever you like. And the next time we're going to put them all together. So we're going to bend and plie, if you've ever taken any dance classes, you know, and then straighten, and then see if you can lift up onto your toes. And come back. We're going to do that again. I'm going to show you holding onto the counter. A little bend to the knees, straighten up, heels lift. Come down one more time. Come up, heels lift, and come back down. Okay, good. Feeling a little warm? So now we're going to take something that you have in your house. I pulled out a can of oats. You could also use a water bottle or a cup or whatever you want to. I'm going to put this down on the floor. I'm going to use this for a little bit of balance training. I'm going to set it on the floor. Make sure everybody can see where I am. And I'm going to start by just looking at it and seeing if I can tap my toe to the top of that item and down. It's almost like I'm doing a march, but I'm just trying to touch my foot without knocking it over. You could do this holding on or not. Back and forth. You might, as you get used to this, be able to take your eyes off that item and look forward and still see if you can touch the top of it. Couple more. Good. Now, look back down at it. You might need to step a little closer. I'm going to put one foot out to the side of my oats. I'm going to take my foot up and over and back up and over. So if you don't need your hands, float them off. You could also hold on, but not so tightly. I call it like playing the piano on whatever you're holding on to. And again, you could also see if you can lift your head up so that you're not looking at it. Couple more. Okay, we're going to switch to the other leg. So the other leg goes out to the side. I'm kind of standing right behind it. And then I'm just going to take it up and over, up and over. Your leg does not have to be totally straight. That part doesn't matter at all. It's really about, we're going to try to challenge our balance on one leg while we're doing something else. Because that's what life is about, right? We're not usually eyes locked on something in front of us, trying to stand on one foot. We're usually moving through space, turning, looking, grabbing something out of the counter, and trying to stay balanced. All right? Good. All right, our last one with this item that we're going to do today. I'm going to move it out to the side just a little bit. I'm going to hold on to this if I need it. I'm going to draw little circles in the air around that can of oats. Doesn't matter if my leg is straight. Doesn't matter which direction I go. I'm just drawing a circle in the air around it. And then I'm going to reverse and go the other way. So feel free to hold on with one hand or make yourself so you can hold on with both. And then go the other direction. Reverse again. So this is how a way you could make it a little harder. Change directions more frequently. Okay? You can either turn yourself around and just leave the can in the same place, or you can move it to the other side. Same action, just drawing that circle around. If this is really easy for you, try to take your head somewhere else, like look over your other shoulder, or look up, or change your focus every time. Reverse the circle. So you don't have to try everything I'm saying. I'm trying to give lots of options for people to try. And then stop. All right, so there's lots of other things we can do with these oats. Next time we have balance class, I'm going to go on with some other things. But we're going to, for now, take this and put it up on top or get it out of the way. All right, our next, we've been balancing so far with 2 feet underneath us, or we're standing on one leg, but we're going to do a little challenge I call the tightrope. So imagine you have a tightrope. I actually have this cool little space where the wood meets the tile in my house. So I'm going to use this as my tightrope. What I want is 1 foot right in front of the other. So you could have, maybe you have a line, a plank on the floor if you have wood floors, or a line where the tile meets. You just want to put heel toe, and all I want you to do is just stand there. Feel free to hold on with one hand or both, and try to lift your head up so it's you're just looking forward out at eye level. It might be challenging just to stand here without holding on. We have narrowed this base of support. If it's easy, turn your head to one side. You could totally still do this with one hand on. Turn your head to the other side. Come back. See if you can look up. See if you can look down. Back to center. Now step the other foot in front. Same deal, just the other foot forward. Okay? And stand. You might find one side is easier than the other. Totally normal. Try looking up. Try looking down. Come back, look side to side. I always find that my arms out to the side helps a lot on this one, and I realize why those tightrope walkers held that pole, right? So if this is not enough challenge, you could also do it with your hands in close. All right, now we're going to imagine that tightrope goes all the way out in front of us. I'm going to back up a little bit, so I'm going to start back here, and I'm going to walk on the tightrope. So if you have something to hold on to all the way, go for it. If not, just walk long enough that you have something to hold on to. And I'm just going to try to keep my feet on that tightrope. Imagine I'm not going to step off of it. And when you get to your ending point, then you can stop for a moment, turn around, and walk back. Or if you want a super challenge, see if you can walk backwards. Totally, you can hold on to that countertop if you want to. And let's do that a couple of times. Let's do it one more time forward and either turn around and come back or walk backwards. If you want more challenge, if this isn't enough, turning your head as if somebody called your name and you're looking to the other side while staying on that tightrope. And going back, turning your head. Good. Come back. All right, I got one more little trick here in this tightrope position. So we're going to do these movements where we do the same sequence with our feet in different positions. We already kind of did all of these in our warm-up, but I'm going to remind you. So just stand for a moment with your feet under your hips and just reach toward the floor, whatever that means to you. That could be halfway down, it could be further down, and then come up nice and slowly and reach up towards the sky. And then you're going to reach down to one side, as if you're going to bend down and pick something up off the floor. And come back up and reach down to the other side. And come back. And we did this before. Reach behind you like you're getting something out of your back seat. And then the same thing the other way. Okay, so first challenge is cross one foot all the way over the other. So if you can see me, I actually still have a pretty wide basis of support. It doesn't matter which leg's over the top. If this doesn't work for you, just do that sequence that I'm going to call out with your feet right underneath you. Reach down toward the floor. Come back up and reach up towards the sky. Reach down to one side, doesn't matter which one, like you're trying to grab something off the floor. Totally fine to bend your knees. And reach to the other side. And reach behind you. And other side behind you. And come back to the center. You could try this with both, the other leg in front, but to get us through all of the things, I want you to put now, if you want a super challenge, one foot right in front of the other. So I'm on that tightrope. I'm going to turn myself so I can see the tightrope. Now this will be the most challenging version because we have the narrowest space of support here. So if you need to, change it up, crisscross over more, or stand with your feet underneath your hips. We're going to reach forward toward the floor. Come back up. Very carefully reach up towards the sky, changing your head. Remember, like we just did with only our head, it'll change everything. Reach down to one side. Feel free to hold on while you're doing this. Come back up. Reach to the other side. So if I was holding on with this hand, I might just bend my knees and not actually reach toward the floor. And come back up. I'm going to reach behind me. You could hold on here. I might let go. And then reach behind me the other way. And come back and relax. Good. Shake your feet out for a second. Sometimes when you're looking side to side and changing, if you're not used to it, it can make you feel a little dizzy. So if you do, always just feel like you can come back, take some of those breaths, steady yourself again. All right, we're going to do a little bit of movement through space. I'm going to stay facing this way so you can see me, but know that if you wanted to hold on to something, you could do all of this facing the counter so that you felt supported, or facing the back of your chair. So all we're going to do is this little side to side rocking motion. So I'm shifting my weight onto one leg and then shifting my weight onto the other leg. I am not picking my foot up off the floor, but I am taking weight off. If you like it and you want to, you could just swing your arms side to side with you. This is not any kind of tricky choreography. You can just do them as it feels comfortable. And if you feel comfortable, you could pick up those toes off the floor. Shifting. It's kind of like a pendulum swinging. You could float your leg up higher if you're somebody who wants more challenge as you come back and forth. Okay, the next time we rock, we're going to see if we can hold the balance. So you decide where you want to go. You could have toes on the floor, toes a little off the floor, a lot off the floor, or if you really want a challenge, you can even tip over and then let's shift to the other side. Same thing. You can go step by step. Find that balance on one foot. Easier to stay vertical, harder to go off vertical, so only if you want it. And then come back. All right, we're going to do the same thing going forward and back. So I'm going to put one foot in front of me. The other stays back. I'm still hip distance apart here. Rocking forward. I'm going to let my arms move with me. I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see how my feet are moving. And if I was doing this with the countertop, I might just not rock as far back and keep my hands here. If I want to pick that foot off the floor, I can. Keeping my knees kind of softly bent. Okay, next time we go forward, we're going to stay. You can reach onto something. You can reach out in front of you like a Superman taking off. And then come back. Same thing here. Maybe that foot lifts off in front of you. If you're really got a lot of balance, you want to challenge, you can lean back a little bit. Good, let's do that one more time. Reach forward. Back leg comes off. Reach out, reach out, reach out, reach out. And then come back. So it might be enough for me to just stand tall. Good, let's do the same thing with the other side. Other foot forward. Same motion, forward and back. And forward and back. Rocking, getting comfortable with that. Picking up the foot if I want to. Now the second time that we do this, I'm going to demonstrate if I wasn't going to pick my foot up off the floor. So I could reach where we're going to hold. I could lean out onto this table, taking my weight forward off my balance, but I still have a grip. And then I'm going to come back, keep my toes on the floor. This might allow me to look up a little bit, but I don't have to have as much balance right now. And let's go forward again. And let's go back again. And relax. Good. All right. Next little challenge we're going to do is going to be a turn. All right. I call this the walking turn because you don't have to be up and on your ballet feet, tiptoe. All you're going to do is walk with your feet and turn yourself around. That's why I call it a walking turn, because you're just stepping right and left and turning around. So I want you to try one to each direction. So you're going either around to the left or around to the right, doesn't matter. And I'm kind of just letting my head go with me. Let's do one more to each side. And then around. Now that we have just come out of this turn, take a second and see if you can pick one foot off the ground. Doesn't matter which one. You could have your hand holding on. Because after we've just turned around, it can be a little more difficult to find your balance. All right, let's turn and do that walking turn again. Doesn't matter which way you're going to go. When you come back around where you started, see if you can pick one foot up off the ground. It might also be just toes touching the ground, heel off. Let's do it again. If you want to speed up the turn, you could do that faster. And then you could find your balance a little quicker. You should just find what works for you. You can see that threw me off a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to put these three movements together into kind of a little bit of a dance. If I was there with all of you in person, instead of me creating the whole dance and teaching it to you now, my favorite thing to do is have the people in the class help me come and choose the movements. But since I can't see anybody, I'm going to just go with what I've gotten, what we've worked on. So we're going to start the dance with just these rocking motions. You can totally do this. We're going to do it 4 times with feet on the ground. And then we're going to rock forward and back 4 times. Forward, back, forward, back. Switch our feet, forward, back. We'll do everything 4 times. Forward, back. Then we're going to turn around in a circle. Doesn't matter which way you go. See if you can find your balance on one foot. Turn around the other way in the circle. And see if you can find your balance on the other foot. All right, that's our whole dance. 4 side to side, 4 forward and back, 4 forward and back with the other foot. Turn around, balance, turn around, balance. You can add on anything that you want to. You can do this whole sequence with your hands on the countertop or on the chair back. Right? And as you turn, you can just use the counter as you come to the balance. On the other end of the spectrum, you could be going off balance, like totally off vertical with these, right? You could make the turn much faster and then see if you can come to a balance. So you play with it however you want to. If you want, you can turn on any music you want to in your house, since I can't turn any music on right now. And so let's just start feet up underneath us. I'll talk us through it. But do take it as it comes. We're going to just go side to side 4 times. 3, 2, 1. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. 1, 2, 3. We're going to change feet. Go forward and back. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go around in a circle, that walking turn. Take your balance. You can go as quickly or as slow as you want to. And then we're going to go around the other way. Don't worry if you're not with me. Doesn't matter. Find your balance. And come down. All right, let's do it one more time together. I'm going to also do it this time facing the countertop. So just to give a little reinforcement of that, but you can totally do it any way you want to. So as you're ready, here we go. We're going to go side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, forward and back. 1, 2, 3. Other leg goes forward and back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go around in the circle. Find your balance and hold. And then we'll go around the circle the other way. Find your balance and hold. And let it go. That's excellent. I hope you guys have been having fun. So let's take just a moment. We're going to take some breaths and cool down for a second. So take, just like we started with, you can close your eyes if you want to. You can hold on, take a deep breath in. Maybe reach your arms up to the sky, or one arm or both. And then chin drops down towards your chest. You roll forward any amount you want to. Come back up to standing. Bring your hands together in front of you and reach forward. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. I'm going to bend my knees a little bit and around my back, kind of make my spine like a question mark. And come back. Take my hands behind my back. It might be I just hold here and open the elbows up. It might be that I can lift my hands off my low back and let it go. You might want to use the countertop or the chair back for this. I'm going to step 1 foot back and find a nice lunge, just stretching out through the calf and the ankle a lot. When you're working balance, you'll find that can get tired. Come back and step forward, other side back. Back to both feet together. Thank you guys so much for being here. I would love to hear if you are interested in getting more of these classes. My hope is to record some that could be accessed anytime on our YouTube channel at Pilobolus. And there's so many more things. I just tried to choose 20 or 30 minutes of what would be fun. But I'd love to do that. And if you are interested in that, it'll be really helpful to me to know. So you can just message here and or either on Instagram or Facebook, or you can also write info@Pilobolus and let me know. If you have friends that would like access but don't get on Facebook or Instagram, write to me. info@pilobolus.org will get to me. And I would love to share this with as many people as possible. Make sure you go to our website, pilobolus.org, and you can see a video that we've put up there to share with everybody of a piece from about 17 years ago. We don't always have it up, and it won't be up maybe for another few days or so. If you have the means and you liked this, you can support us and our dancers and technicians who have not been able to perform or work. And you can check out all the other videos we have on YouTube. I'm already seeing some messages that people are saying, are recordings going to be available? Yes, this on Facebook, it will last. It'll stay up in our posts. On Instagram, it'll stay up for 24 hours. But as I said, I'm going to be working this week to put this on our YouTube, maybe not this recording, but some other recordings up on our YouTube channel. And that's YouTube and it's Pilobolus Dance. Let's see if there's any other messages. More classes. And we are having classes here live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. They change. Sometimes they're fitness-based. Sometimes they're creativity-based. Sometimes they're for families and friends. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing so many friends. So I definitely will send you guys out more. You can check here, and I know we will post on Facebook and Instagram when we do have those classes available. Where am I? Here I am. So thanks so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe and stay on balance. We can do this. All right. Bye-bye.